Welcome to 1,000,001 Things.
Girls, get it together. You have a show to do.
Because it's cool to know stuff. Let's get started. Welcome to our show, 1,000,001 Things, because it is cool to know stuff. We are sponsored by Quirky Minds Media. Visit us at quirkymindsmedia.com to find out more. My name is Temple Kinyon, and I am here with my amazing co-host, Cynthia DeBoer. How are you, Cynthia?
I am doing great, and welcome everyone to our show. Today our topic is about us.
Yay!
We are superstars in the making. We hope, we pray, all of that.
We think we are.
We think we are. We are to each other, so, we got half the battle done, right? Dun, dun, dun. So anyway, we've got a few shows under our belts. We've got, I think, 7 up right now, and we really thought that maybe our listeners might want to know a little bit more about us and why we decided to do this type of a show.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of an important thing. I'm an author. I've published actually
let's talk about your books.
Yeah. So the first 3 that I did are basically self-help. Me, Myself, and I. It's about the realities of living with a prosthetic eye, which I've had since I was 17. And it's written from basically a patient's point of view because there was nothing much out there for that. I thought that was one and done. Wrong I was, because talks led to freedom from depression, no matter what your disability may be. And it, again, is another self-help book, which actually has room for people to realize how special they are.
Yep.
And then my last book, and we've actually done a couple shows on this, is Freeing Space in Your Home Office and Mind. What this is about is not just getting rid of and organizing, but it's also about maybe the emotions that kind of stop us dead in our tracks. We don't want to move forward. We don't want to get rid of this or that. And so that was a lot of fun. And then in between my second and fourth book, I did number 3, which is Jimmy's Magic Turtle. It's definitely outside my genre. I'm a genre hopper.
She's a genre hopper.
I'm a bad girl. But anyway, this book I absolutely love. It was written to basically really acknowledge and love my nephew. And it's called Jimmy's Magic Turtle. It's really a fun little one. It's kind of interactive. Kids can have fun with it. Ages 4 to 8. Pretty good thing.
It's a great book.
It's a lot of fun. And
they're all great books.
My illustrator, who was Carolyn Euler, was amazing, and she is responsible for half of this book. I mean, books aren't much when it comes to children's book unless it's a really good combination of artist and author. So right. I'm really grateful for that. Well, I met James Kelly, the mastermind behind Quirky Minds Media, in 2018, might have been later 2017, but we met at an event that he was holding, which was an author's book signing and showcase. I instantly fell in love with this genuine, loving person. He put this event on to help indie authors, and I just couldn't get enough of this guy. He also has Aspects of Writing, which is a radio show that he's done for years. And again, it's all about writing. He does 2 other shows, and now he's basically a producer of movies. He does it all, and he is one of the most generous, loving people that I've ever met. I just can't say enough about him. And he afforded us the opportunity to do this and really had the faith and confidence in us and has taught us so much. We would not be here without this man.
No, he's awesome.
He really is.
We love James.
Yep.
So how we met is through our books.
Exactly.
And Cynthia showed you guys her books, making a little extra noise here.
That's okay.
This is my book, The Button Boxes, and I self-published it in 2019, and it has brought me so much joy, but I will totally admit I had no idea how to promote my book, how to get signings, any of that kind of stuff. So I have this really great friend, Susie Johnson, and she's also an author, and Cynthia knows her too. She's amazing. Her book is called Some Dreams Are Worth Keeping. So go to Amazon, look that up. It's a great story of her bipolar journey. But anyway, Susie was involved in a group called the Coffee House Tours. And she said, why don't you get to know these people, because we can do signings together, and they help indie authors just, promote and get yourselves out there. So I went to the meeting. I signed up, went to the meeting, met Cynthia. Mm-hmm. Cynthia and I ended up on the board together. And we had a great adventure of doing social media posts, which I hate to date myself, but I am probably not the most social media savvy person I know. Probably the least social media savvy person I know. But here Cynthia and I we're getting these things out on Facebook and Instagram and wherever the heck else we put stuff. And we just had a good rapport and got to know each other. And we ended up working with James, along with several other authors, on a great program that James, again, is the mastermind behind, 1 million books in 100 days.
Right.
And if I have any listeners or viewers out there that know me, I've just been working really hard on trying to make this happen, because I think it's a great cause. We put our books out there. We're indie authors. It's a limited group of people, but a huge amount of genres, so that our books appeal to so many people. And James takes the proceeds, and we get probably more than we normally would when we sell a book out of other outlets.
Right.
And then part of that money goes to charities as well. So Cynthia and I just love that concept, and we got to know each other really well through that. We did a little bit of social media chit-chat back and forth on that. And one day she said, James and I want to meet with you. And I said, okay. And I thought it had to do with 1 million books in 100 days. And I come in and they start talking about this wonderful concept and how they want to bring me in to Quirky Minds Media. And the concept behind Quirky Minds Media is just that it's a full service media production company, but podcasts is what we were talking about that particular day. And I was all in. I didn't know what I was doing. These microphones scared me. Thinking about going out and putting myself out publicly scared me. But the person who I'm with is Cynthia, is like, let's just do this. Like, what do we got to lose? So we talked about how we were going to put things together. But I think just the thrill of doing something new and taking on something I'd never done before with someone that I respect. And we work with James, and he's taught us, again, like you said, everything we need to know. So we just thought, why not do a podcast of our own?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And back to the coffee house tours, it was really kind of a cool thing, because Vicki Ann Bush and Linda Stiles Fox started the coffee house tours. And Linda unfortunately passed away, and Vicki picked up the reins and she just ran with it. And by putting us together on the board, it was really, really serendipitous, because I can't say that word.
Serendipitous.
Yes. Holy heck. But anyway, because it really gave us a chance to really get to know one another.
Yeah.
And I think I really felt like, seriously, a duck out of water when it came to social media. I mean, it scared the heck out of me. My daughter tried to work me through this program last night to send some money to my step-grandson. And she's like, oh, it's so easy. It did not work. And it did not work again. And the third time, she's like, okay, Mom, we got to go to another route here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting, because the social media did really blow my mind. It wasn't something that I really was good at. And Temple obviously knew a lot more about it than I did. But we also, in the future, we each want to do kind of a show where we're basically the host on our own. And to do that, we wanted to get our feet wet. And we made such a good team. And I absolutely love this Idaho gal. And we've all worked so well together that it just seemed to fit. So again, what do you theme? What do you do? And we talked about 1,000,001 different things. And as we were talking about it, it's like, well, let's just call it that, 1,000,001 things. Right. And then Temple came up with our lovely tagline, which I absolutely love, because it's cool to know stuff. And because we did it that way, it did not rein us into just one topic. We're not going to talk about decorating or books or. We can talk about whatever we want. And quite frankly, I mean, even when you go riding in a car and you go past something, it's like, I wonder what that business is about. Oh, I wonder who does this. I wonder about that. And it's really opened our eyes to a lot of things that maybe we wouldn't have thought about before.
Yeah. Yeah. It is cool to know stuff. And, they teach you in podcasting school, if there is such a thing, that you need to narrow your audience and you need to direct your conversations and shows towards a different demographic. And that is true. That is very true. And that's how you get your fans, because they know what you're going to talk about. They might not know who your guest is going to be or what you're going to say, but they know it's going to be about basketball or it's going to be about fashion. And we just decided to buck the system and just talk about stuff that comes up in our head. And if you listen to any of our shows, you will see that we have a lot of crazy ideas for shows. And we are completely open to people emailing us at
a1,001thingsshow@gmail.com.
James said, if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it. And that's just what happened. Oh, man. I'm like, what's our email again? Anyway, if you want to email us for show ideas, keep it PG. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. If you hear our shows, we'd love to hear from you outside of that. Let us know how we're doing. But anyway, we just thought, what the heck? We're just going to talk about stuff that interests us. And what's cool is we can do a show, but we're also going to bring in guests occasionally. And we've got a few lined up that are going to be really great shows. So I'm looking forward to that. But one thing we did not know something about is podcasting.
Yes.
And it was really something that I had to psych myself up for, because I'm a writer and I do that alone and behind closed doors. And it's all, I type and I put stuff out there. And sure, I've done book signings and stuff like that, but people who know me might not categorize me as an introvert, but I kind of am. It makes me nervous to put myself out there. I think my voice sounds terrible. I am not a broadcast voice. I would not be able to work for ESPN, I couldn't. So it was really scary. But because I had that safety net of Cynthia and James helping us get comfortable, I thought, what the heck? What's the worst thing that can happen? We have a show that nobody listens to.
No, it's not quite true. We've had quite a few downloads so far, which we're really both very proud of.
Thank you.
The other thing, too, is really, seriously, everybody has to start from somewhere.
Sure.
And as James said, whatever, you guys will do it and all of that. And then we did get a really, really wonderful compliment from him. He told us, because we had to learn how to edit these shows first through the audio, that what we learned in 2 weeks took others quite a lot longer time.
That's right.
We're like rock stars.
Because it's cool to know stuff, and we needed to know that stuff.
Exactly. We have a heck of a lot more to learn. Let's not, fool you there.
Yeah.
But it is true. The only experience that I had had with it, with actually podcasting, was I was on James's show one time.
Yeah.
And we've actually had James on our show when we discussed our road to publishing. And please, if you are thinking about this at all, check out that episode, because I will tell you what, it was mind-blowing, some of the things that we went through, and learning how James had to do it literally decades ago. It's a whole different world. And it's constantly changing. So double check. Do not take the word of just one website or one indie person, whatever. Double and triple check it. And if you are in that mindset and you have any questions, again, forward them to us. We'll be happy to help you out there if we can.
Yeah, ask.
We had some kind of interesting shows at the beginning. I mean, we had one that we literally could not stop laughing. I do not know why, but it was nonstop. We had to stop, and we started again, and we started again, and it was just insane. We are planning on doing a blooper show.
Yeah, we are. What started is these arms, these booms that the mics are on.
Yes.
And the mics pick up everything, right?
Yes.
I mean, everything.
Yeah, you breathe hard, you sneeze, you cough.
Right.
Even if your stomach growls, for God's sake.
Oh, I know. That's a big one, right? So we snack a lot around here. But it was these metal, if you're listening rather than looking at the video, there's these metal arms, and they articulate and they move around. So you can get this mic right where it needs to be, the sweet spot. And they have these springs on them. And I really want to do that right now.
Okay, go
because
for it.
I want them to hear it.
Yeah.
But I hope that we don't start laughing again, because when we were just learning and we had these these headsets on, we were just like, it just went off, and it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard, which I was like a little kid. And you know how you get those laughs where you just can't stop.
Yeah.
And that was a very good day because it really broke the ice. And I think we did end up getting our show recorded, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And it was really funny because we actually recorded our intro and exit, and James stepped in because he's like, oh my God, what are you two doing in there? We're in the audio room with the door shut and we're cackling away. And he's like, oh, hell, what the heck is going on, you know? And it was
girls.
Yes, it was girls. What are you doing? You know, and we joke around with him, and we call him our resident genius, and we're the Charlie.
He's Charlie.
He's Charlie, and we're his angels. But unfortunately, we're a little on the mischievous side. We're not exactly just not all that sweet and innocent here. We kind of have our edges to us, which just makes us that much more fun.
But he was the guy that showed us how to deal with all these dials and switches and everything on the board. And then, of course, you have to hook up the audio and the video to the computer so that you create your show. And remember that one time in the olden times that we recorded 2 shows and Temple didn't have the right audio hooked up. And so all it was like, here's what it was. We were like,
Chinese
nothing.
People. There was no
Did you
sound.
hear the dead air? Yeah,
no
nothing.
Sound at all.
I was devastated.
But when we looked at the video, it was quite funny. I kind of thought of, the old Asian movies of,
We should have dubbed it in.
Oh my God. Our lips are moving and nothing, absolutely nothing is happening. It was hilarious.
That was so funny.
But looking at the board, I'm not kidding you. It was kind of
scary.
Intimidating. I was like, are we in that cockpit of an airplane or what? Because there's too many dials for
That's
us
next week.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know about this kind of stuff. I used to work events a million years ago when I was younger, and I always wanted to know, what are all those dials? And now we know. Mm-hmm. Well, most of them. There's ones that's like, James is like, don't touch that.
Stay away from it. You will mess everything up.
But one of the cool things is when we edit, we can cut out some of the funky stuff that's in the audio. So that, we have that power. Like if I say or you know. Yeah. And that's, the first show that we did, the editing took forever because I couldn't think of what to say. So I threw in those filler words, and we both say and a lot, or so. And a lot of times you can cut those out, but sometimes you can't. So, but I kind of like that power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I make myself sound a little bit better when I can cut that out.
Yeah, we can edit ourselves and make us sound a lot more intelligent and articulate. Articulate.
Right
there. We can make ourselves sound a lot more professional. And I believe that that's the case with anything. I rarely, unless it's quote unquote live happening at the minute kind of thing, you are going to have some editing in there, and it does help. Because the same thing goes, we don't want to waste your time, the listening audience, hearing a lot of unnecessary words.
Yeah, it's distracting.
It really is.
And so are the weird noises. So once in a while, you'll hear some weird noises because we're still trying to realize that the mic picks up everything. But we can try to edit most of that out.
Right.
So I think we should share, just even for a moment, like why we did this. One thing you've always taught me, Cynthia, is that you need to remember when you're doing something important, the why or the purpose behind it. And you'll hear that in our shows because that is a really key thing. Like, why are we doing this show? Well, the reason we're doing this particular show is so that you can get to know us.
Right.
And sometimes we come off being very serious or we're trying to share information. But we do have a fun side to us too. Yeah. And so I think that's why I thought we should do this particular show. But why, what was your passion as far as like, why did you want to do a podcast? I know there were lots of reasons why I wanted to, but just never had. But did you think about it ahead of time, or was this sort of like, well, I met James and this is what he can help us do, so let's do it?
Well, back in 2016, I actually started developing something that I really felt passionate about, and it was invisible disabilities. And the reason for that is because I've had a lot of health issues, and to look at me fully clothed, you wouldn't know that there was a thing wrong with me. You know, I have a prosthetic eye. I'm legally blind in my right eye. And, you know, I've had heart issues. I've had brain tumors. I've had all these things. And what really hit me is that everybody out there had something that you didn't see. And as authors, we obviously know that people do judge books by their covers. But I wanted to really relate to people that you don't want to do that with a person. But I also wanted to do it from a positive side. And the reason that I say that is because a lot of these things that you go into and they're talking about this or that disability, they end up going on and it's monotone and very depressing. And you're like, oh my Lord, isn't there any light in this person's life?
Yeah.
So I wanted to give somebody a positive outlook on things. And right now, obviously, our world is a little crazy with everything that's going on. And the reason that I wanted to do, and again, invisible disabilities is down the road, guys. I'm definitely going to do that. But I wanted to have something that would just make people think of something else other than maybe the negative things that might be going on in their lives and learn something. I just love every show that we've done. It's taught me, I know it's taught you, Temple, when we do our research. And it's just a lot of fun. And to me, it's a way to reach people and to hopefully lift their spirits while giving them information, whether they think it's valuable or nonsensical or whatever. It's just fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think that our society right now, no matter how you feel about what's going on in the world, there's a lot of opinion and we're real short on news. So when you turn the TV on, there's a lot of people telling you what they think. I just decided when we talked about doing our show, if we're going to talk to people about what we think, let's make it fun. Let's make it entertaining as you know, we'll try to be entertaining. Give a few tidbits to people about certain subjects so that maybe they walk away with more information than they had before, like our organizing show or our journaling for life shows. That might be where someone actually is like, I didn't think of that, or, oh, I should do that. They've inspired me to do this. When you as a listener take time out of your busy schedule and spend time with Cynthia and I, it means the world to us because you're validating that what we're doing is positive and it's giving you a break from the noise that's out there. And you already know right out of the gate that this is our opinion, this is our information. We are not necessarily, like, maybe we will talk about medical issues or something, but you know we're not doctors. So we're just giving you information. We're not telling you
how to believe.
Diagnosis or something. So there's just a lot of noise out there. And Cynthia and I decided, well, if there's going to be noise, let's be the positive noise. Hopefully you don't see us as noise. You see us as useful. You know, I just think it's important to always have a voice that isn't barking at you or instilling fear or taking away from your mood. I'd love that if people listen to our shows, they felt good after and maybe inspired, or they're going to go journal, or they're going to go organize their office space, or they're going to think about the colors that they use when they decorate their house, or whatever topic we happen to share with you. Hopefully you'll walk away with something that is positive. And that's our goal.
And I think you just said something that's really, really important. And as a speaker too, I've given a lot of speeches about, you know, how you can be more positive and not be so depressed and all of that kind of thing. And the thing with that is that I've learned through Toastmasters and other places that I've talked that people at the end of a talk or a show, they might not remember everything that you've said, but they sure are going to remember how they feel. And we want you all to leave feeling good, feeling empowered. I mean, today we're talking about podcasting and writing and all of that kind of thing. And let me tell you, sweetheart out there, you know what? If we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, seriously. If you guys want to do a podcast, get a hold of us. That's what our email is for, is to communicate with our listeners. And we can help you do stuff like this. We can give you pointers and tips, things that we did wrong so that maybe you won't have to go through recording shows that didn't have any audio. Yeah. So that is a good point. If you want to reach out, please do. We'll share whatever we know.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is we are located in the Las Vegas, Nevada area. But no matter where you're at, if there's something that's interesting or quirky that you do or know about, we can do a Zoom. We can have you on the show and you can share your knowledge or your funny facts or maybe how you live in your part of the world. I mean, we are interested literally in 1,000,001 things. It makes us better people when we can expand our knowledge, no matter what it is. We did a really funny show not too long ago that talked about sayings that we just all say, and we don't even think about where they come from or anything.
What would be a good one for that show if we do another one? I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, where did that one come from?
Yeah. Okay, write that down on our list.
Okay. I'll be a monkey's uncle. There's so many, many ones. I mean, we actually did the show and literally have enough information for probably 2 more shows.
Yeah.
There's that many more.
It was fun.
Yeah, just discovering the history of things.
Yeah, like Dead Ringer.
Oh, yeah, we did the Dead Ringer and the other one that was really funny, which is Freeze the Balls Off a Brass Monkey, which is all about warships and cannonballs, believe it or not. So
it has nothing to do with monkeys.
Nothing to do with monkeys. It's just this triangular dimpled plate is called a monkey, and it's made out of brass, where cannonballs are iron. And when it gets really cold, brass contracts and gets smaller. And then you had all these cannonballs rolling all over the ships. And that was like 16th to 18th century. And I don't know, still haven't been able to find this one out. And if anybody knows, let us know. Why in heaven's name would they call this brass triangular dimpled plate a monkey? I have no clue. But it's hilarious, and we have a lot of fun just really trying to figure things out and share. It's just a lot of fun.
You never know. We might be the reason you learned something, and then you go on Jeopardy and you get the big Jeopardy prize because you learned what a brass monkey was.
That's true, and I have just heard, I believe it was yesterday, and I don't know who it is yet, but they have actually decided who the new co-host for that, or new host, I should say, for that show is going to be. So,
well, I told him I was booked with you, so it's not me.
Oh, I know, me too. I think mine would be knowledgeable of things you really don't ever really want to know about sometimes,
Sort of the jack of all trades. What is that? Jack of all trades, master of none. That's me.
Yeah, that's
I know
me
a
too.
little bit about a lot of stuff, but I probably wouldn't be considered a master of anything.
Well, me too, but then
other
it comes
than
back
writing,
to,
maybe.
Yes. Well, we've both been doing that for several years. I think I started, forever. I can never remember a time in my life that I did not write.
Right.
I loved it,
Me too.
and it was just a great way. And it's also kind of cool, one little tidbit, if you've got somebody that you have an angst with or you're not really happy with, you can always write a little short story and make them the villain and kill them off on paper. It saves you a jail sentence. What the heck?
I love doing that. I've killed off a lot of people that have known me over the years. Like my neighbor. No.
Yeah, well, we've all had some of those once in a while. But
well, we just want to say thanks for listening. And this was kind of a goofy show, but we just wanted you to get to know us a little better. We'll probably do this occasionally when we feel like we want to reach out in a more personal way. And we hope you listen and enjoy our shows. And again, if you want to reach out to us, we would love to hear from you.
That's for sure. You can reach us through our Gmail email account, which is 1,000,001thingsshow@gmail.com. And if you really are interested in any of our past shows or future shows, just keep 1,000,001things.com at your beck and call. Just tap us and see what we're up to. We do show tap us. We do.
Just tap us.
Just tap us, you know.
How about favorites? You can put us in your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, seriously, we are something to.
We will be your favorite.
Yes, definitely. And it's always really good to reach out again and let us know what you think, or if you have any ideas for anything new. Because, as we say, a million and one things, because it's cool to know stuff. Temple.
What?
We forgot the microphone noise.
You know, I did forget it because I didn't do it. I was afraid we were going to ruin the show by laughing too much.
We never do that.
No, we never do. Okay, for those of you who want to hear what the microphone thing sounds like, I hope it makes you laugh.
Get ready, guys. Isn't that funny? Oh, my Lord. Oh, gosh. Join us next time when we come up with something new.
After all, there's always a million and one things to talk about.